Hi guys, and welcome back to Car Focused. In today's video we have got behind me here the all new and quite controversial Ford Puma ST. Now before we kick off of this review, I just want to kind of apologise for the step down in quality. I was due to meet up with my editor today to film, but due to a medical emergency we had to cancel, so I've had to dash out with my handy little Canon G7X, and we're going to go a bit DIY style, so I do apologise for the lack or drop in quality in this video, but I'll do my best. Anyway, we've got this Ford Puma ST from Ford. It's finished in Desert Island Blue. Now, when the Ford Puma was first released, I was a big hater of it. I didn't see the point of it, I didn't like the look of it, and I just wasn't interested in it basically. And then an ST line came along which looked, you know, a bit sportier, looked a bit better, and now we've got the ST version. And in pictures I still wasn't a big fan of the ST, but I must say, having this car now with me, the looks really are growing on me. And ultimately this car is basically a Fiesta. It sits slightly higher, it's a bit more spacious inside, but it's got the same 1.5 3-cylinder turbo engine, 200 horsepower that the Fiesta ST has. We've got a bit more torque in this one, 236 pound-foot of torque, so a little bit more low down grunt in this, but ultimately it shares very similar components with the Fiesta ST. So what separates this Puma from a regular Puma? So obviously we've got ST badging, we've got some gloss black bits as well, the front grille, the fog light surrounds, we've got some side strips that are gloss black, we've got a black spoiler as well. The car also has a black roof, which is Puma ST only. And at the front here we've got a Ford Performance front splitter, which isn't finished in gloss black, which would have been better, but it still looks quite good. Allegedly it creates some aero. I'm not too sure if that's true or not, but I guess Ford wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. But yeah, we've got the nice front splitter there, which looks pretty cool with Ford Performance stamped into it. At the rear of the car, it's very similar to an ST line. Obviously we've got ST badging, LED rear tail lights, and we've got a kind of a matte black rear diffuser, not gloss. It should have been gloss in my opinion, but we've got a matte black rear diffuser and twin exhaust tips. They're not chrome, they're a stainless steel kind of finish. I think they would have looked better in chrome, but they're genuine exhaust tips. They're valved as well, so when you go into sport, the valve opens up, and it does sound quite fruity, so we'll stick a clip of that in right now. Heard a clip of the fruity little exhaust there. Not bad, is it, for a little 3-pot? Quite a good engine, quite a nice strong powerful engine for such a small capacity. It will do 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, around 6.7 seconds. So yeah, good little package engine wise. But a couple of more things which stand this out from a normal Puma. I want to talk about these gloss black trims around the fog lights here, because we've got some genuine cooling ducts here which diverts through to the front wheels to cool the brakes, I guess. And then also, talking of the wheels, we've got these 19-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres, some of the best tyres on the market, and I love the fact that Ford chucked these on their ST models. Red brake calipers as well, a nice size front disc, and the alloy wheels themselves, there are two options I believe. We've got these sort of diamond cut finished variants, and then there's a full dark version as well, but I think both look really good. So yeah, that's the alloy wheels and a bit of cooling at the front of the car. Stepping inside the little Puma, first thing you notice is how spacious it is in here. We've got quite a lot of headroom, particularly compared to a Fiesta. Other than that, it's very similar to a Fiesta in here. It's not massively bigger, but you do notice the extra kind of cabin space that you get. One other thing you notice as well, you can tell that you're riding higher when you get out of the car, because the floor just seems to be a bit further away than what you'd expect. These Recaro seats are really nice. They're the same seat as the Fiesta ST, very similar to the Focus as well. Nicely adjustable, you can pump the seat all the way down and get quite a nice seating position. Nice chunky leather trim steering wheel. Typical Ford modern era dashboard, very similar through the range, once again similar to Fiesta and Focus. What I do like about the car as well is this really nice digital display. We've got a full digital display here, and including the sync infotainment system. Digital display is nice and customizable as well. You can check out various gauges, performance gauges. You've got your traffic sign recognition, and you can adjust that in customizable settings, what you see on this screen. Steering wheel, we've got the driving mode buttons. I really like the quick access to the sport mode, and then you can scroll through the other modes as well. And talking of kit, the car's got pretty much everything you need. We've got a heated steering wheel, heated seats, dual climate control, your sat nav, your CarPlay. We've got wireless charging as well, so you slip your phone in the center here, and it's angled as well, so the phone sits nicely in there. It doesn't slide about, it doesn't fly out, and it does a really good job. We've got a 6-speed manual gearbox, so we've got the ST gear knob here, finished in a nice chrome with leather trimming. Feels nice in the hand. A leather trim gear handbrake, sorry. There's one thing in here, there's a couple of things that does let the interior down slightly. The quality of the centre armrest, it feels really cheap and flimsy, and it wobbles around quite a lot. And for the price of this car, which is £29,500, with the performance pack, you kind of want a bit more quality, don't you? We've got a great B&O sound system. However, the sound system's awesome, but it's flawed by cheap door cards. Now, when you have the sound system up, the door cards can't handle the quality of noise, and they rattle. So you've got a good quality system going on, but you've got door cards that let it down, and you're hearing rattles. So something that could be addressed with a bit more soundproofing in the door cards. But other than that, inside, it's a nice place to be. In the back there, we've got sufficient room for an average sized person. With the seat in my position, I've got plenty of knee room, plenty of headroom. If you are a bit taller, your head does sort of go up into the roof, so you have to sort of duck to look out the window slightly. But for the sort of size car this is, it's absolutely fine. In terms of boot size, this has actually got a bigger boot than the Ford Focus. We've got 456 litres of space in the back. Then add on an extra 80 litres for the mega box, which is underneath the boot floor. Now this mega box, I know it's been talked about quite a lot, and people have done silly things like put goldfish in it and stuff, but it is waterproof. It's a nice big storage area. If you've got mucky shoes and stuff and you want to rinse them out, you can hose them out in there, release the plug, and the water will drain out from underneath. But it's also just good for storing shopping and stuff as well. Like I've had the pram in there with shopping underneath in the mega box, and then I can stack bags up on top of the pram, and there's just plenty of room for what you need in the back of this car. So what is this Puma ST like to drive? So what we'll do is I'm going to just quickly talk about what the car is like to drive for your normal day-to-day commute. You know, if you're just cruising, just using it for the general run-of-the-mill stuff really, and then we'll kind of put it through its paces a little bit more and talk about what it's like to push on, because it's important that this car does both things pretty well, particularly for the price you pay for the car and the kind of crossover design that it actually is. So it needs to be able to do both things quite well. So I've had this now for a little while, a few days to get used to it. I've taken my wife out, I've taken my son out, we've been shopping, and I will say the ride is quite firm, but they have toned it down a bit from that of the Fiesta ST. Now, I found the Fiesta a bit crashy, whereas this is firm, but it feels more supple. It's manageable, it's fine, you know, it's fine if you do want to use this car for normal stuff, which a lot of people that buy this will. So the ride isn't too crashy, and it's not really going to become an irritation like it can do in some cars. It's very smooth as well. MPG wise, you can get up into the high 30s. I've been averaging 37. You've got an eco mode, but you're not really going to use eco. Just have it in normal or sport. And in normal mode, the car will drive around quite nicely. There's just a nice amount of feedback in the throttle with the throttle response. The steering feels nice and light, and it's just a nice, comfortable drive, basically. It's got a nice shove of low down torque as well, so you don't need to really push this car very hard if you want to make progress. There are some cars out there where you have to give the car quite a lot of revs, you have to work it quite hard to get it moving. Whereas this, when your day-to-day travels, just ride that low band of torque and the car will progress along very nicely indeed. So, we don't want to talk about what it's like to drive normally for too long, because this is an ST, it's obviously the hot model. The hype around this car is the fact that it's based on an already great Fiesta ST, and can it live up to the reputation? Can it live up to the ST name? What does it handle like? What does it feel like to drive and to push on a nice back road like this? Well, let's find out. So floor it in third gear, loads of low down torque. The car is strong, the engine feels very strong for a 3-cylinder, keeps going. On the brakes, really good. The car feels really tight into the corners, nice and sharp and taut. It's just like a small child that's had like 10 cans of Red Bull and he just wants to get up and go. This car feels like that all the time in sport mode. A nice sharp left-hander down into third. On the brakes again, nose is tucking in nicely. Let's try the diff out, accelerate out the bend. A little bit of wheel spin there as the car scrabbles for grip on the PS4S tyres, but nicely does it. The car's got plenty of power to throw you out the corner, down the road into the next one. Now what I will say about this car being very eager to push on, as we've got a tractor up ahead anyway, it's almost too dialed in. Now it makes the car feel a little bit fidgety. So we've got no custom drive modes on this, so you basically put it in sport and you get the increased throttle sensitivity, the throttle mapping. And if you're trying to be quite light on the throttle, if you're on a bumpy road, the slight travel in your foot is amplified through the pedal, so it can be quite hard to maintain full control of the throttle, purely because of how sensitive it is. It's the same with the steering as well. The steering is really sensitive and it's really sharp, so it responds really well to minimal inputs, but that can make driving quickly quite fidgety, and it's something you need to kind of get used to. And over time, it won't become a problem because you'll know how the car behaves, but just something I've picked up on initially. Talking about the limited slip diff, that comes with the performance pack, and you need to spec the performance pack. You need the diff, not so much the launch control and the shift light, but the diff in a front wheel drive car like this is quite precious, and you can really feel it working. But yeah, just how keen and eager this car is to get up and go has really surprised me. You don't really notice the extra weight it carries over the Fiesta. As for the extra height, I was expecting it to feel quite top heavy, so there to be more body roll in the corners, but it feels very stable and very planted. A nice set of S-bends here, so we'll drop down into third gear on the brakes. We'll tuck the nose in. You can feel the rear of the car like lifting up. It's got that pivotal feeling that you get in a fast Ford, mainly the Fiesta, like the car is pivoting around you. But yeah, it's really surprised me, guys. I'll tell you what, I reckon this thing could hang on to a lot of stuff on a road like this. A family crossover. Nice sharp left again. And if you just lift off the throttle mid-corner, it does unsettle the car and it does cock that back end up. And it just makes it feel really playful. So yeah, guys, I'm really impressed with this little car. It's probably exceeded my expectations. As I said before, I wasn't really too sure what to expect. It was going to be a heavier, slower Fiesta ST, but I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. It is a heavier Fiesta ST, and technically it's a bit slower, but we've got more torque, and I think the added torque makes up for the drop in power, and it doesn't feel any slower, guys. So if you're at that stage in your life where you think a Fiesta ST is too small, you're past that kind of stage, you've maybe got a small family, you want a bit more room, you want a bit more practicality, but you still want something quirky, fun and fast, and you see the Focus as being a bit too grown up and maybe a bit too sensible, then this, I think, is the car for you guys. If you can get past the looks, it's a grower. The car does get better the more you look at it, particularly in this blue, but if you can get past that, I think once you get behind this wheel and take it for a good blast, and you realise that you can go to the shops and have the family in the car and it doesn't feel too racy and taut, and then when you get on a nice back road it feels pretty epic, I think, yeah, you're going to be happy with it. So I'm eating my words here, guys. The Puma ST, I think it's awesome.